Hello, hello my friends. Once again, I come to you to discuss something very important. Once again, continuing on what I last spoke about, the importance about love and how the power of love can help us change our future. The future as is being written or as it's going to be written, taking into account all the things that are happening around the world, the dynamics of the president and the opposition to the president's course for the nation is starting to get ugly. And it's only going to get uglier unless we address it with something powerful, something that has clout in this world. And love is one of those things that has clout in the world. Love is a product of the Creator. He made it powerful for a reason. One thing the Creator knows is that He made the world very diverse, with many cultures, races, and traditions that sometimes, unless there's love between individuals, it would be hard to navigate all the different ways of the human being to get along. And it's quite obvious that love is not being brought to bear in the relationships of humanity. Now, what difference does it make? One would ask. Well, we have to look at this mathematically, scientifically. Now, if love is a force, a powerful force, and it has some kind of measure, there is some kind of measure of this force of goodness. Let me also bring that into the situation. Goodness. Love is a good thing. I think most humans that would analyze it or that would have an analytic mind to understanding the powers that affect us on this earth, goodness or love is up there. Is up there with the something that is positive for us to work with. Obviously, there is the other side, where we can't say ungood or bad or evil, if you want to go that way. But it's a competing force that is at odds with what love wants to accomplish. Love wants to accomplish a couple of things. Cohesiveness between human beings is one of the goals that love has. One is another is affection. There should be affection between one human being and another. Obviously, in a relationship like a marriage, that exists. Is a given that humans will want to get close to one another and work with the flaws and the what do you call it, good things about a person. If a person is generous, kind, affectionate, generous, and all the good things, we can't find too much fault in that. But if you're selfish, hateful, and jealous of the success of others, that creates problems, a lot of problems. So, being that as it is, we have to look at it in a scientific way, right? If there's goodness, and there are different levels of goodness and love, I'm trying to, it's hard to separate love, goodness, light from one another, because they are basically, I wouldn't say they're the same exact thing, but they're closely associated. Love, goodness, and light. And the opposite being badness or evil, hate, and darkness. Now, if we want to quantify these things and the level of love in an individual, can we assign a number? The love quotient, somewhat saying. If someone that was brought up into this world by good parents, a good community, where people are brought up to be generous, kind, understanding of one another, and forgiving, and embracing the differences between us, those are good attributes to be raised with. Now, somebody that's raised with hate and bigotry and selfishness is not going to want to create a cohesive society where we can all get along, prosper, and move to the future in a positive, good way. So like I said, there are some people that have greater abilities than others in all things. In love, in goodness, in intelligence, in mechanical ability, scientific ability, medical, athletic ability, musical ability, and so on and so on and so on. And we could say some people have achieved the height of their profession or specialty that they've been able to develop over a lifetime. Some people have not. Now, is it fair to say that somebody is not as worthy of praise as somebody of accomplishment? We could say so, yes. There is people that are not our brightest and sharpest individuals that we want to point at and say, this is what we are aspiring to. Now, how can I give a value to one person versus another. Very difficult. But we know that if somebody is very accomplished, they could push humanity further along than somebody that's not accomplished, that's destructive and controlling and aggressive to get their way. Because unfortunately in this world, people that are aggressive can overtake somebody that's accomplished, an accomplished scientist that is world versed in the workings of our universe and society, can push society forward in a massive way. But somebody that's very destructive, although they are talented in manipulation and controlling others and dominating, could overtake someone that is very accomplished in a good way. Let's take, for example, our famous evil people that we always tend to point to. Adolf Hitler, a massively megalomaniac individual that had global evil intentions that was very apparent to those around him. And he was able to put the world in turmoil for many years. It took a lot of love to overcome the evil that one individual brought to bear in our world. And conversely, there have been people very strong on the other side of goodness, of wanting to work with others and prevent evil from triumphing in our society. And we have people like Roosevelt, the President of the United States, Charles de Gaulle, Winston Churchill, and others that brought their best game. They brought their intelligence and their heart to bear to defeat an evil. They purposely brought their hearts to a situation that needed great heart to overcome, and they were able to do it. Now, how can I quantify? If I give Adolf Hitler a number, let's say I give him a negative 100 as destructive, powerfully destructive individual for humanity. And I give him 100, negative 100, as a mathematical numeration to his impact. And I give, let's say I give Roosevelt a 78. Arbitrary. I know he wasn't the most powerful individual, very persuasive, very intelligent, very talented in his abilities. But it took a huge collaborative effort to overcome the negative 100 that Adolf Hitler had, and possibly Mussolini and Stalin and the guy from Spain, his name Generalissimo, and others that wanted to control the world and make the world work for them and take away freedom and the ability to love as freely as one would want in other places. Because the reality is this: when you are free to love, you are powerful. You're more powerful than anyone that wants to do the opposite. Now, it's not an easy thing to be powerful with your love. It takes a lot of effort and education of your part to move with basic principles of kindness, understanding, tenderness, affection, education, and a lot of other things. It takes a lot to learn all these things and to get proficient in these things. So I will go into these things as we go on. But what I'm trying to make a point of is that as you are more proficient, that number that I would say, as bad as evil as Adolf Hitler was, the minus 100 that I assessed him to be, how can I say, where am I? Where do I put myself? If I say the maximum a human can be is a positive 100, I'm just like maybe a 25. My impact is very little right now. I'm hoping to increase it as I grow and learn how to apply my love powerfully, creatively, and hopefully one day flamboyantly and talented. And these are things that can be achieved over time as you purpose yourself to get there. So I want to get into this numbers game because it helps you understand how we can get better, how we can expand our power to overcome a negative 100 type of individual. And hopefully it won't take a world war and millions of lives to accomplish. We should be able to do it more efficiently than a world war. We don't want to replicate that. And it's not the only time that it's happened. It's happened many, many times where love has been stifled, where people had to live in fear of their safety. This world has not been a kind place for love. in the large scale of where we want it to be. We know that Genghis, what's his name? Genghis Khan was not the sweetest individual that ever lived. He liked to dominate everyone that he met and subjugate them to his power. And he's not the only one. There's been many people of that type that put the world in fear. And those that love had to go underground, had to hide their love and their expressions of love, to the detriment of the world. The world probably could have been further along if we have learned how to overcome these powerfully evil people and do an efficient, powerful response to their actions. So hopefully this session has opened your eyes to certain things, that there are people with powerfully negative or evil intentions that have to be dealt with and overcome. And usually the only way to overcome these people is with love, not with might. Although a nuclear bomb will definitely change the opinion of many people, but it's not the way we want to respond to evil. More destruction is not the proper response to an evil action. More evil is not the way to respond to evil. It's the opposite. It's goodness, love, and light that overcomes evil, hate, and selfishness, and darkness. So, now that you know, now that I told you, think about it. Think about it. Let that heart work on it. You got a heart for a reason. Love was put in the heart for a reason. The mind, as wonderful as it is, can be fooled, tricked, and misled. Although tricked and misled probably mean the same thing. So I'm not a super genius, nor do I want to be a super genius. I want to be somebody that responds to love that's been embedded in my heart and be able to listen to the Creator's love that is trying to ally itself with me. Or rather, I want to ally with the greater love, the divine love. So there's a lot. I mentioned a lot of things, probably more than most people have learned in their whole religious education. But there's a lot more to come. And hopefully I will be inspired to tell you in a right way that can be absorbed by you and built in you so that it can do good, that it can add to the pool of goodness that's in this world. And until next time.